Everybody? Let me put my intro and we're going to get this show started. What's up? So we are live. I want to give a special shout out to our special guest, a good friend of mine, Antonio. Welcome to the show. And let me give you a little.
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good. You were one of the first ones to get the exclusive with Kaya about the show Gag Order when you went to their event. You remember that? And you interviewed her.
Yes, that was a few years ago. I think I was the first one.
You
To
were
be exact, but yeah.
You were the first one to get that exclusive. So let's get right into it. Shekinah definitely was on Troy show. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm going to share this and let you all see it. And we're going to give commentary because he went off. So we're going to see this exchange between Troy and Shekinah. Did I say her name right? Hope I said her name right. Okay, because this was a lot. It was a mess. But let's see. It was a good mess, though. Let's see it right here. Here we go.
Woke up one morning, and which was Saturday morning, and I seen the news, and I seen everything just going crazy. I seen stuff on fire. It hurted my feelings because I'm like, damn, this what this thing came to. I don't appreciate that white man killing us. I don't think that's cool. I'm not with that. But I don't think we're gonna get anywhere by stealing these people's shit. Fuck Gucci. Fuck Gucci. Let's make that understood. Fuck Gucci. I don't even wear that shit anyway.
All I'm telling you is when I got online, I see you crying over the Gucci store. I'm not gonna sit here.
But listen, what I'm telling you, you know they have edits out here. Wait, they have edits in the world.
I did see you say the cops in Atlanta don't have nothing to do with this and that. But do you really believe that the cops in Atlanta have nothing to do with this?
This is what I'm saying. You right? I just didn't understand why we were coming up bringing more things ourselves, like more hatred. You seen those two black kids last night in the car that went to Spelman and one went to Morehouse. Those people were on their way home. And all of a sudden, them people that came in there and ambushed these kids. For what?
I have children?
For what? Why they ambush these kids though like that? I'm not in agreement.
I have a son, a daughter,
you got kids, right?
I have a son.
And okay, good. Congratulations.
I don't think you understand. We have money. Me and you have money. And at the end of the day, have money. And at the end of the day, it does not matter. My son could have a
look, you think I'm supposed to sit here and listen, as our platforms, we supposed to tell our people to get out here and fight food?
Hold on. I see where you're coming from, and you're right. Black people are acting animalistic or whatever you're saying. And black people acting crazy. I can understand.
It's another way we can get our point across.
Screaming. Let me say something.
I scream. I'm black. You know we angry, right?
I'm not that angry.
Okay.
I'm not that angry. I'm angry at the situation.
I'm angry at everything going on, my brother. I don't appreciate white officers killing black people. That's all I'm telling you.
All I want to say.
Y'all keep talking about let him speak because he got more followers. All y'all folks. Shit.
All right, so that was that. And he actually, of course, in this exchange, he hung up the phone on her. So, what's your thoughts on it? Because she did cry. She was crying and she was weeping, saying, "Y'all should not be out here protesting, destroying the stores, and all of that." Do you feel like Shekinah should get criticized for telling black folks don't go loot, don't go destroying businesses?
Is this for me?
Yeah, do you think so? Do you think that she should criticize giving her opinion? And what's your thoughts and stuff?
I don't necessarily think that she should be criticized for stating her opinion of what she feels, because we all have that, and I don't think we're all in agreement with how everything is taking place. But I think that maybe her delivery might have cause for some criticism. And I'm 50-50 on this. when it comes to the vandalism and how things are going. Part of me is like, no, because we're jacking up our communities. But then on the other end, had we just been peacefully protesting like we've been peacefully protesting for years and years, would it have gained this much attention? Would anything have been done? That's where I stand. So and history shows when we have peacefully protested, things haven't changed. So now we've taken things to another level, and let's just see I guess it's like, well, let's see what happens now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give the last part of it of him actually going off on Shekinah. Let's see what he said towards the
gotta
end.
come on here, bro.
Because this guy 1.5 million actually on Twitter. So I'm gonna play that clip of him actually going off towards the end. Let me get to that really quickly. Exit out of that. Okay, there we go. Let me do this.
Shorty crying over the Gucci store. You are a black and African American. Like I said, bro, I'm not even a guy to come on here, bro. I don't even come on here. I don't talk about politics. I'm not even like that, bro. Y'all know me. I like to have fun. I'm not even one of those guys, bro. But this is just stupid, bro. Like, if anybody is a celebrity, bro, stop using your platform to come up here and say anything that's against what the people in the streets are saying. If you're not out there, bro, if you're not out there protesting and marching with these people all day without your fucking security, my nigga, and without the other extra shit, my nigga, then you shouldn't be talking, bro. You shouldn't have a voice in this. And until you go out and do that, until you go out and study, until you go out and really understand what the fuck is going on out here in our community, bro, just stop. Just get off Twitter. Talk to your PR. Ask your PR what you should say or something, bro. Something. What's up, shorty? What's up? Hi, hello. How you doing? Hello. Hi. Yes, we are talking about you, shorty. Shorty crying over the Gucci store. You are black and African American descent.
Okay.
Like I said, bro.
He had that to say. All right. So this is what I want to say about the looting. I'm going to be very controversial in this. I don't feel that that's the right way to go. You black folks in Chicago fucking up your neighborhood. I watch about 4 lives and I posted it all on the Wiley Show Instagram. They are now on 87 looting the stores. Those are your stores that you go and shop. Where your mothers work, where your fathers work, where your sister and brother, and where black folks work. Many black people that were working at these stores were shocked to get a text that they don't go to work. Now black folks are taking and looting. Black. I've seen it. I've known some people personally. I know some gay people that are doing panel shows talking about what gays don't identify. They're out there looting as well. Because I know some very personal. I saw like 10 that I actually know it. And I'm looking at these folks looting their stores. And then I had a question. After y'all get through stealing all the property, what y'all gonna do when y'all need to go to Walmart? The mayor, because this is how they set up and protect white folks' property and money. What the mayor Lightfoot did say, you know what? It's out of control with the black neighborhoods, so let's shut down the train and the bus station to get downtown. Why would she do that? Because she don't want y'all going to State Street or Lakeshore Drive messing up those businesses. So now they said, fuck it. Y'all already looting all stores, so let's protect downtown. And I never seen that before. I never seen them completely shut it down for downtown. Now they're allowing these people to destroy property on 47, which it is some black-owned businesses on 47th Street. They're getting looted as well. So my thing is, how is that going to bring awareness and justice for our dear brother George Floyd? May he rest in peace. How is this going to bring awareness when you're destroying your shit? You're not destroying these people that live in these multi-million-dollar neighborhoods. You ain't looting their store, going into their neighborhood, going into their gated community, going into the governor mansion, or going into the mayor house and taking her items. You are literally looting your neighborhood. And you're going to regret that, because when it's all said and done, it's going to be a long time before them stores get to open back up. That means it's going to affect you of getting the job. Already the president want to cut off unemployment in July. He don't want to extend it for the next year because he feel like, though, that is welfare. He feel like, though, $600 a week is a little bit too much for folks, because some folks don't want to go back to work. Now, what is that going to do for people that actually need a job, that need unemployment now, because the stores were opening up, We're opening up the economy. Now we back at square one because now the stores are burned. I was looking at one particular store. It was on fire. So the fire department had to go put this fire out, and all of these people's jobs are gone. And I don't know when it's going to come back. And it was a black fireman. I don't know if you've seen it, Antonio. Black fireman put his life savings in a bar, in a sports bar. He cried because it was gone. And while they was doing the news report, some black folks were coming in there trying to break into the state. So, I mean, protest. Go ahead.
So no, I wanted to jump in because you said some things, and I wanted to ask: have you guys looked at, or have you in particular looked at the people? When you really look at these videos, it's way more white people tearing up this stuff than it is black people looting. And I mean, of course, they only showing certain, but when you look overall, it's white people out there at a massive number than it is black people doing the tearing up. Anyhow,
I'm looking at just today. I know you're talking about other stuff, and yes, it has been so white. I'm talking about today in Chicago. I've literally seen black folks that I know personally out there burning up, tearing up, robbing the stores, getting the jewelry, taking the weaves. It was one young boy. He was taking a whole flash screen out. They are literally destroying their neighborhoods, and they're doing it live. And none of the civil rights leaders are out telling these black folks, hey, don't do it. And then when the police finally show up, I got a phone call because I have a source with the police union. They are literally telling their officers, don't intervene. Because if we intervene, we wrong. So let these such and such do what they got to do. Don't intervene. So right then and there, the police first, they're going to come. The mayor wants them to intervene. But the union, according to my source, are telling them, we're gonna have a whole nother protest. So just go ahead and loot. So the police is just pretty much do what you got to do, because they looking like this is your neighborhood, this is where you reside, this is where you work. But when they came to downtown, this way, they're making sure they shut that completely down, only allowing the residents there. And that's going to affect those people that have good jobs downtown as well, that work in the service department. So all I'm saying is, if we're going to protest, if we're going to, we need to do it peacefully. Because yes, things have happened when we have done peaceful. We have done. We were able to that peaceful movement because of the civil rights. That was a peaceful movement, but the oppressors still had dogs. They did beat them with clubs. It was a such thing called Bloody Sunday. But out of all of those sacrifices, we got something off the table. But us, if Dr. King or any of these civil rights icons were looting, it was nowhere in the world President Johnson would have got through any type of policies to help the African American movement. I don't really think that would have happened if they had been looting some stuff. It would have been war.
But Wiley, I think that we're beyond those points. I think you and I both are black men at the end of the day, and we both, when I get pulled over by the police, I am fearful of my life because I don't know if I make a sudden move if they're going to kill me. And I think about my nieces and my nieces and my nephews, and I think we're beyond the point of peaceful protesting because we see it every week now. Somebody's getting shot and we don't have a gun, a knife. We ain't even threatened the person. So I think that's where the anger is at this point. It's not that we haven't seen any progression. We haven't seen any progression on this matter. And I think now that everybody has these cell phones and they have all of these, can instantly post things, it's like this, we're going to highlight what's been happening. This is not nothing new. It's just now everybody got a camera.
Well, I agree with you on this. But my thing is this. All of those African Americans that own businesses, they're suffering. How in the world are they going to get their businesses back? It is challenging to own a business as a black man, as a black woman, to get a business loan. Do you know how hard they have to work to get it? And I heard that even if your business burned down and you got a bank loan, the bank not going to say, well, we forgive your loan. You still have to pay for it. But yet you still not, a lot of folks not realizing that a lot of business been suffering because of the pandemic. So now you still got to pay for that loan. You have no revenue coming through. If you have insurance, you're good. But if you don't, you're screwed. And if we're doing this to Black-owned businesses, tell me how is that going to advance us as a people? When you're destroying things that Black people are getting businesses, are helping their family invest in the community, and they have to suffer. I think that some people are doing this for awareness for George Floyd, doing it peacefully. But then you have those that I witnessed with my own eyes from Chicago. They're doing that for personal gain. They're doing that to get these Chanel bags, to get this weave for their hair, get these nails, get that jewelry from the pawn shop, just to go to Walmart and steal. They're not doing it for awareness. They're not doing it to fight systematic oppression. They're doing it for their personal gain. And I personally believe that the National Guard should be deployed because this is an issue, and the people that actually paying taxes and that will have to pay for the damage, by the way. You will pay for all that damage you've done. And if you don't have that energy at the polls, you're literally did all of that for nothing. Because if you don't vote, if those same people that are in office, you think they're willing to negotiate when you're destroying your neighborhood, you're not destroying their neighborhood. Even in these quote unquote white allies that are traveling to do destruction and we're not calling them out, they're destroying your neighborhood. They're going to fly back home to their town, neighborhood, and they are not going to allow you to do what you did in Minneapolis to their towns, to their neighborhoods. It's just not going to happen. That's just my personal opinion. So when I witnessed that today from Chicago, from the city point, and when I post all of that on my Instagram, I immediately were upset because I said, why in the world would any of those people want to do this? What is that going to bring awareness? How is that going to help the movement? That are literally going to give the police more of authority, more of a license to use force. That's not going to deter the police to use force. That's going to help them to do more of that. So when I seen that, I was totally upset about it. And of course, we did post it on Instagram, so you all definitely can see. And Chicago is literally out of control. The police have lost all control for the city. And those African Americans that have those jobs just absolutely are going to suffer. It's just really sad. Really, really sad. I just hope that they keep that same energy on November 3rd by voting. But we will open up the fall lines. But let's continue into this conversation. America been out of control. Someone said. I want to talk about fate. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure that I talk more about this subject. Did I do this?
I got time today.
Okay.
I got Ian. It's like, how you doing, honey?
How you doing,
okay.
my love?
Okay, I talked about that already. We definitely want to talk about Faith. She allegedly, Faith Evans, was arrested for domestic violence for allegedly attacking Stevie J. And according to the report, there were stitches. And so I was reading this on the Neighborhood Talk, and they were saying Faith got home, and according to TMZ, she whooped Stevie J's behind, put paws on her after the dispute. And there, according to this, the TMZ, they said Faith was arrested earlier this week around 1 a.m. after cops got called to their LA area home. They told Faith and Stevie got into a heated argument, and at some point it turned violent. When cops arrived to the scene, they noticed visible scratch marks on Stevie's face. Faith was booked for felony domestic violence and bonded out later that day. And they just got married not too long ago. And their families did not approve of them getting married. It's like, what do you expect? It probably was some cheating involved, allegedly. It probably was some infidelity, something going on, somebody doing something. She probably got mad. She probably got on the phone and probably heard somebody on the phone talking. Whatever it was, it literally got her pissed off. Because anytime a woman is scratching you in your face, it's something that man did to provoke that woman. But again, you got what you pay for. That's who you wanted. You wanted to marry him. I don't think y'all should have got married. I just think he was I think he just had some good ping, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think he was good to have I don't think that he was good to be there, or both of them could be cheating. I don't think if y'all both want to cheat, don't be in a relationship. Very with cheating. The marriage was doomed since day one. Bless them. Yes, black one. Okay, yes. So definitely. So when I saw that, I was like, it was some stuff going on. It was some really going on. Of course, we will open up the phone line. So if anybody want to call in and speak on these issues, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in yesterday for that talk. But I definitely want to show you a little piece of what I was witnessing all over Chicago. I'm going to play a little of those clips for you to watch some of them. And I'm going to open the phone. Let me make sure I get that open. Give me a second. And then we're going to play some clips so you all can see this, because I was watching this in real time. And I'm like, if you're going to loop, why record yourself? Oh, my gosh. It's just like a lot. Like people, or something else. Like something else, y'all. Give me a second. Shout out to everybody that's watched this live. Make sure you all click that like button. Make sure y'all click that like button, because we will be back for another video. I got to talk and address something in the mukbang community. So I got some stuff that I got to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the mukbanger that I'm going to talk about, but we will address that. So let me screen share this and show you a couple of these clips that we posted on IG. Give me a second. Here we go. Right here. Here we go. Okay.
Trey, be careful. Down with the team. Go get Trey. They don't got shit in there. Come out, Trey. Come on, come on. Come on.
Okay, clearly you see that. So we're gonna go to another clip. And I was watching this literally in real time, and this one was just a key. This one was so funny. This no. Okay, because the dude that was recording, he was everywhere, and I was able to get all the tea from his live. Let me see this. Let me see this. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's going braids out here. It's going braids out here. Look what they drop, y'all. Look what they drop, y'all. Look what they drop. Shorty is not old enough to be taking TVs. He is not old enough to be taking TVs. Y'all are teaching them all wrong. Y'all are teaching kids the wrong way of life. Y'all are teaching these kids the wrong way of life. Yeah, it's going braids out here. It's going braids out here.
Okay, you see that. Which one is this one? Did I play this one?
Big ass. Find the lamps. They're snapping. They're going crazy. He need help. That was too big for him. Look at him. Oh, I want y'all see this shit. I want y'all see this. Y'all snapping. They snapping, y'all. They snapping, y'all. They want it all.
Okay, and that.
Start your show now. Press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, so went on the call.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, so definitely going to play this clip, and we will open up the phone lines. And this is when the police finally came on the scene. They were there on the scene, of course, over the police scanner that the brother Martin G. Johnson that was covering it He was there. He was on the ground level. I can hear on the police scanner that the police were telling Walmart to shut the doors down, immediately cease operation, and just everybody leave. But I didn't record that part. Then the police got dispatched to this area. And let's see this confrontation with the situation. Let's see.
Hey, come on. Hey, y'all come on, hey, come on, man, come on. Hey, come on. Hey, y'all go ahead, man, go. Go ahead. Come on, my mama. I'm gonna fuck you up. Y'all gonna walk, bro. Y'all gonna walk. I guarantee y'all fuck you. Man, your man put a gun to people's face. I know. Right. I ain't no cop. What the fuck you wearing for? You put a gun to my head. On my mama. Anybody want to fucking fuck out of line, man. Come on, man. I know you ain't shit. I know you ain't shit because you're a fucking traitor. I know you, man. Because you're a fucking traitor. Come on, y'all. Because you're a traitor, y'all. Come on, fucking that. I'm that pistol, boy. Get his badge number. Well, what's up with that shit, man? I'm just punching him up in the head. Get his badge number. I just told her he was doing it out of control, man. I just seen you. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. You know I still. Hey. Come on. Yeah, you can say what you want to say. They can't touch. This is your guy. They can't touch. You're a fucking trainer, man.
Okay, so that was that. Someone asked the question, why would Walmart open? Where the mayor wanted the stores to open up so residents can shop as well as the seniors, and they were going to close early. And I'm going to open up the phone line. The phone lines is open, but they weren't even able to stay open for a couple of hours because the police were getting dispatched. They went to Walmart. They had to leave and go to this store. Then on 47, and then it just word started to spread to just go and get items. So the police was there, and then the police hands were tied because they were told from one of my sources to not use any force, just be on there for a deterrence. But unfortunately, that did not work. Even one of the guys even knew, and he said they can't touch you. Like the officers couldn't do anything. But before that video, you actually can see the officer pull out his weapon, and then one of the officers said, put it down, and then he put it back into his holster. So that's why the guy was angry, because the officer was about to ready, because there was a lot of them, charging, and they on the scene. So it was a lot going on. It's still going on in Chicago, and I know the mayor talked to the governor, and they want to deploy the National Guard because the Chicago Police Department cannot handle it. It's above them now. It's too many. 4429, caller, you on air.
Okay, Wiley.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't know how y'all do it because I have to unplug from this stuff. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, we already know. Why do y'all keep talking about what should be done and what shouldn't be done? We already know that, okay? It hasn't been done. So if you're under pressure every day, living in a neighborhood, or it don't matter, you could be in the hood or not the hood. I've been pulled over in Baltimore. I've been pulled over right by my house. I told the cop, I live right down the street. You know what I'm saying? So you want to try something. And I think sometimes too, people can't imagine your child being shot in the playground because he got a play gun. Okay? All of this ain't just start from the 3 Black deaths that we just experienced. This is energy that has been built into the fabric of America. There are no rules. If you go look at history, in this country or any country, there are no rules when people have a civil war. When there's an uprising, nobody's going to, of course, you're going to have your unsavory people mixed in with people that are trying to protest peacefully. And then you have people that have just lost their minds, okay? If you're systematically oppressed every day, if it's in your DNA from your ancestors, one day you're going to, and no, if there's no playbook for snapping, okay? If God forbid, if something happens to mine, I'm a snap too. I might burn down some shit. I might not loot, but I might burn down some shit. Who knows what my mind will do? So if you keep begging your oppressor to stop oppressing you, okay, and they don't do it, not just this year, not just this decade, not just this century, from the beginning of time when they brought slaves over here and they took the land from the Indians, because some of y'all are aboriginals, okay? I know my history back to slavery. I know part of me is aboriginal, okay? The lid is going to pop, okay? The lid has popped. It's out of control. It is not our fault, okay? It is the oppressor's fault, okay? The looting is their fault. Everything that's out of control is their fault, okay? Of course, we don't want Black businesses burnt down. We don't want no business burnt down because even white people employ Black people. They're not just tearing up anymore their neighborhoods. They went to the capitals. You see, Philly? They went to Melrose Place, Hollywood, okay? So when we talk about, I don't blame nobody and I don't judge nobody that is being oppressed, okay? Because I have a lot of anxiety, okay? But somebody else may take their anxiety and go light a match, okay? I can't judge that person, whether it's right or wrong, but you should do it because you could hurt somebody with them fires. But when you're under this type of pressure, you don't understand, I'm not saying you, but understand this pressure that Black people are under in America, it's a wonder that we have even survived this long. It is a lot of pressure. In other countries, they are kneeling, okay, for them to stop killing us. In other countries right now, they're writing on the walls in graffiti and stuff in other countries right now, okay? This is like a civil war where the people turn against their country. Now, when America go bombs up some shit, they don't say, oh, let me see, it's a business over there. It's a business over there. Let me not. No, they go and bomb. So that's what these people are at right now, at war with their country because they're sick of systematic racism. So y'all can get on here and judge and say what they should and shouldn't do. But until you are systematically oppressed and you don't know what your mind will do, you can judge, but you should not. I'm not going to judge my people in this terse situation. When it calmed down, meet somebody that was looting or whatever, maybe they'll evolve and they'll change. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll run for some kind of office. Maybe they'll go get a law degree. Maybe they'll become a doctor and help our people. But right now, all this judging what should be done and what shouldn't be done, it's a war. Ain't no rules of engagement in war. And America go to war with everybody. George Bush did it. No rules. Bombed a whole lot of, killed people, children, everything. You see anybody, oh, he shouldn't kill those children. You know, China, they were just being oppressed over there, and them kids took over the airport. And the police were fighting back. They burned Paris. They burnt Paris, okay? I think it was 2018. They burnt Paris. Ain't nobody say, oh, the French people shouldn't have burnt their city. No, when Black people get upset and do something, everybody got something to say about it. Okay, that's all I got to say. I got to unplug. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I'm Black, and I totally disagree. what Blue Sky said. I disagree with that. I don't like when black folks burn up your neighborhood in your property where you work, especially those hardworking black folks that spend their life savings on owning a business. How would you feel if you had a business and your business burned up? You spent your life savings. How would you feel if you pull up to your business and it's burnt to the ground? You would be hurt. You would be sad. You would be pissed. I wouldn't like that. How would you look if you own a salon and you making money? You're trying to leave something to your children. You pull up, it's gone. It's in the ground. You nothing but burnt bricks. How would you feel? You would be hurt, and you still gotta pay back the $30,000-$40,000 small business loan that you took out from the bank. You still gotta pay that money back. How you think you gonna come back? And it took you a long time to get that loan, to get them doors open up. One particular businessman, before he was able to open, he was gonna have a grand opening. Couldn't have it because it's burnt down. And he black. To me, I think that is destruction. To me, I think that is sad. To me, that's gonna put a lot of black business, it's gonna hurt them. And it's gonna be a while. It's probably gonna be another generation till they're able to get that business back. The phone lines are 646-716-8447. Let's talk about this issue. All right. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hi, Wiley. How are you? Hello, chat.
Hi.
Really quick. I heard you mention that, you believe that the National Guard should be released on people who look like you. And to be honest, as a black man who's afraid when they get pulled over by the police, who understands, the plight of the black people since the duration of time that they've been here, to say that you are for the unleashing of a military on people who have been brutalized for all of their life, it's absolutely embarrassing. And that the fact that you have a platform.
Again, get to your point, because I stand corrected. I'm standing up for the black-owned businesses that own businesses. I'm standing up for them. That I stand up for my aunts and uncle that own barbershops and laundromats. I don't think their property should be burnt down. And if it takes the National Guard to protect their property and their interests, yes, bring them to protect the property of these people that work hard to get it.
I understand that part. I heard you, but I heard you speak the whole time. I listened to your whole thing, but it is my turn. I know exactly where you're coming from, but you have to remember that that it's not all majority of the businesses that they are burning down. It's not black-owned businesses. If you look at the businesses and stop listening to what they're trying to get you to believe, then you will understand that the businesses that they have burnt down are not black-owned. That is a lie. That's a lie. I know plenty of people who are on the ground floor, and so was I. If you want to try to spew the narrative that they are burning down black-owned businesses, that is nothing but a tactic from mainstream media to try to put the slaves back on the plantation through guilt. That is false. That is false. And as far as releasing the military on black people, that is disgusting. And the reason why it is that you said it out your own mouth. That is too many people, that the police force can't handle it. But all of a sudden the police force was so big when they was bullying black men around. When you get killed for unarmed, oh yeah, it's okay when you by yourself and 4 police officers jump on you. Oh yeah, it's fine and dandy. But when we start fighting back, you have the audacity to come out your mouth and say, get the military. Why don't you get the military on the police officers that's killing black men on fucking national TV? That's a shame. That's a shame. You sit there and you said it out your own mouth that you had to get butt naked so the cops wouldn't kill you, but yet you want the military put on black men like you. What about the military on the police?
For the safety of the city and those businesses, and for those elderly that own property. I'm standing up for that. It is out of control, and I'm not going to give these people a pass. I'm not going to give them a pass. We need law and we need order. We need law and we need order.
I understand you being concerned.
It's safety concerns. It's getting out of hand. Because if they come to your door, who do you think you're going to call?
You are more concerned. You are more concerned about the structure that white.
I'm more concerned about the investments of my people. I'm
No,
more
you are-
concerned
no, you're
about the
not.
investments
You
of my
said-
people.
You said on your platform that you wanted the military to be unleashed.
It's not. No. You said
No.
unleash. I'm saying having the military there to have to bring and usher in safety and law and order because it's getting out of hand.
The National Guard.
Yes,
You said the
it needs to
National
be
Guard.
ushered
At the end of
in.
the day, we would not be here. We would not be here if the police wasn't killing people in the head and shooting women, black women in their beds. We wouldn't be here. What you gonna bring in the National
How's
Guard
that going to
for? Now
happen? You stealing some
You
weed for
bully-
your hair.
you
How's that
bully-
helping the benefit
why
of the
you bringing
people?
in
I
that-
just want to
Why
know.
are you bringing in the you? Okay, so you want the National
Weeds
Guard on
and
people
flat
because
screen
they're stealing
TVs.
sneakers.
How's that going to
You
help
want
towards
the
police
National
brutality?
Guard- You want the National Guard for people who are stealing sneakers and don't want the National Guard for people who are shooting people in their bed.
Again, no, ma'am, you're not listening to me. What I spoke about that,
I
I
heard you
said
very
we
clear.
as the people that's in Minneapolis as well as many other cities, the same thing that Chicago did. You vote those bad actors out. You vote those bad politicians out because we cannot sit here and say we don't have part of the blame. In Minneapolis, it is run by Democrats. So those African-American people, those constituents need to get out and vote in the right people. Again, those are Democrats that are running the city as well as Chicago, which is Democrats. So again, those constituents keep that same energy on election day. If you don't go out and vote, you going into a store and steal some weaves is not going to help deter police brutality.
Wiley, let me say something to you. And you know what? I'm going to apologize. I don't mean to get upset, only because it's very personal to me. I know this is your platform. I do not want to be disrespectful. Trust me, I don't. But I am emotionally involved. But the thing is that voting is not a bad thing. People should vote. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. There's always more than one strategy in a war. And if you do not know, and everybody in the chat, you should understand this. The Civil War has already begun. I don't care what you don't want to happen. It's here. It's at your door. There is more than one strategy in the war. It's voting, and there's people who are on the front lines. When you have people that look at you, Wiley, and that look at me, and everybody who's black in the chat and their children, and see that your life is worthy of going to fight for, and then when they go out here and fight for you and for me and for my children and everybody else's children, you say unleash the National Guard on them. Voting is not it. We have to have people on the front lines. When you go into these war zones, everybody can't be a frontliner. Everybody is not a warrior class. There's a warrior class, and there's people in the background who's doing what they're good at. There's people who are nurses. There's people who does the funding. There's people who is feeding. There are people who have a house, a safe haven. We cannot just vote. We have to physically fight. You cannot get sent home every day being bullied. You wouldn't even teach your children right now if you had a child. Every day they come home because a bully then knocked them upside their head. You would not even teach your children to go peacefully march when a bully keep knocking them in the head every day. You would tell them to go out there and fight. So when
not necessarily, or you could do with my parents. Hold on 1 second. Or you could do with my parents because I actually was bullied. They didn't tell me go and beat up and fight. No, they did another approach. They got the authorities involved. They got the principal involved. Everybody's not going to take that approach because it's a dangerous approach, and a lot of poor black folks are going to suffer.
No, it ain't.
They're going to suffer. They don't have
approach.
That
it ain't approach. It's not a dangerous approach.
A lot of folks going to lose their life with that type of spirit.
A lot of people. What are you talking about? A lot of people going to lose their lives.
A lot more.
We lost our lives.
A lot more will. And we need to do another. We need a peaceful approach. I stand for peace.
In case you do not know that they have already waged a war against you, they have waged a war already on every black man in America. In case you haven't noticed.
Okay, what message, ma'am, do you give to those African American owners that lost their businesses? Okay, what do you say about those black employees that are out of a job? What do you say about those that are taxpayers that are not down with the looting?
What they do what Target did. When Target just released a statement yesterday that says, listen, we are building, we can rebuild. # we stand with Floyd. You understand that brick and mortar is not the most important thing when it comes to a life. When you are a black-owned business and you got to raise black boys, you understand that Floyd can't come back, but goddamn it, they can rebuild your whole thing. Is that correct?
Again, They have the infrastructure and the money, but
That's
black-owned
my
businesses don't have that type of money and influence and power. They don't. They don't have that.
You
They
keep
don't have the
focusing-
option. Go ahead and loot my store because we can reopen. Half these black-owned businesses are suffering
point
to
of
survive. They're not.
you
You can't
keep on
compare them
trying
to
to
Target.
push a
They don't have the money like Target. They don't have the resources like Target.
No. The problem in what you are saying is that you're acting like they're burning down only black-owned businesses. If you need to look at it, you need to do the research.
I'm speaking about any businesses that you're burning down that are employing my people. I feel as though it is wrong to do so. It is wrong because those families, who gonna be there to feed those family members when they have to go try to get a job and they need to pay their rent and they just who's gonna be there for those black family members?
Exactly.
Who's going to be there for them?
You say that, but who's going to be there to feed Floyd's 2 children? His 16-year-old.
Absolutely. And I understand.
Even tell her that he had died for 2 days. Who's going to?
And I understand your point.
Who's going to be there for Breonna? Who's going to sit there for her husband, her boyfriend that couldn't protect her when they sent 8 shots in her body? Who's going to protect the mom whose 16-year-old son got 76 bullets in his body? And you talking about
okay, and I hear your point, but us going out there looting, stealing weave, and us stealing makeup, how is that going to help their legacy and to stand up for justice? Stealing a weave, stealing some hair, stealing liquor, stealing clothes, stealing some FUBU shoes. How is that uplifting the legacy of the people that we're fighting for? I believe that we should do a political front. I don't believe in stealing shoes and hair.
Yep, I'll teach you. I'll teach you right now because that's a good question. You're a poor black man, period.
Absolutely. I don't believe that will help them of their legacy. No.
Let me finish. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to teach you. You poor. You ain't got
shit. Again, you don't have to say, again, yes. And it's many different poor working class that their jobs is destroyed because the buildings are destroyed. How are you going to help those people? I'm fortunate enough to go back to work, but it's a lot of other people can't get a job because it's gone. It's burnt up.
Let me tell you,
destroyed.
Man. Let me tell you something about
how are they going to survive?
You're a God-fearing man. And for you, let me finish. I'm going to hit all your points. When you are a poor man, when you are a poor black in America and the government just sits there and slap you, and then when the government's slapping you, here come the police to kill off the kids. So now we got the pandemic. Everybody sitting still, don't move. You broke already, don't got no job. The riots didn't do it. The pandemic set that off. Your government again said stay home. You couldn't work even though you could work. So they already didn't have a job. The pandemic comes. You don't have no food and your stimulus check didn't come through. People need shoes, people need clothes, and they're killing you. Do you think they give a fuck about a building? They going and they getting food and shoes and everything they couldn't get all their life because they can't even get.
Absolutely no. Half the people I can speak, I can contest for what I witnessed today in Chicago. Those people have been the folk that I've seen in Chicago that I know very personally because I post all the clips. I know they did that for their own financial gain so they can boost and so they can sell. They're not doing that to uplift the legacy of George Floyd. No, they did it for their own personal gain, and they're using that as an excuse to commit crime and destruction. And all of these people that work very hard to get these Walmarts in these neighborhoods, to get these Targets in these neighborhoods, I think that is wrong to definitely do, especially in cities that are helping black-owned businesses.
Everybody in the chat right now.
I don't agree with it.
About Walmart, why I never go into Walmart.
I don't agree with it.
Walmart. Anybody black going to a Walmart when they let a black man get murdered?
They employ a lot of black people, ma'am. You may not go on Walmart. Are you telling the black people to leave their job?
I'm sorry?
It's a lot of people, and I understand your point, and I'm gonna get these other callers on. But like I said, a lot of African Americans that work and pay taxes, some of them, even including John Lewis is against this. Reverend Jesse Jackson is against this. Many of people up in here are against this. And I have an issue with some of these people that are that are encouraging this, just like the Sean Kings that are hold on one second, that are encouraging this, but you're not on the front lines. Again, I'm totally against it as well. I believe that is foolish behavior, and I think that's not going to help us benefit as a people.
When you get on your black platform and you talk about you're against it, that's
It's
one
my
thing.
opinion.
But
If you
to
don't
say to
like it,
unleash the military, because I'm gonna tell you something. Remember, when you unleash the black military on black people, you could be walking to the sub store and you're a black man, and they come out and kill you, and all you
okay,
did was
that's
go
why.
to the
That's
sub.
your
So watch
opinion.
your mouth.
I'm standing up
Watch
of
your
the
mouth.
protecting of the
Watch your
property
mouth.
and everything
Because
like
you
then and there.
forgot that
That's
even
all
though
we
you ain't
talking
out there
about. But I gotta
riding,
move
they'll
on
come and
to
get you.
other
Don't forget, when
callers.
you ain't out there riding,
I gotta
you
move on
fit
to
the
other callers.
description.
I don't believe in
Remember,
the
they said
riding.
you fit the description,
We're
Wiley.
gonna have
You
to
fit
agree
the
to disagree.
description.
I don't agree with it.
You fit
Thank
the
you.
description.
Thank you
Remember
so very
that.
much. I don't agree with it. We're gonna have to agree to disagree. I don't agree with your. I
Try
see.
it. Even though you ain't riding, you want the
Okay.
National
Well,
Guard to come. You
thank
fit
you
the
so
description.
very much. I said what I said regarding the matter. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Let's move on. Next caller. 3365 calling
Hey,
you on the
Wiley.
air. How you doing?
Hi. Hey, how are you, Wiley?
Hey.
Am I coming through?
Yeah,
okay?
you
'Cause I
here?
have you on speakerphone.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I like you, Wiley.
Go ahead. I
Like you
you too.
long time. For
Thank
a couple of since you were at like 2000. I know you're at your low 10 right now.
God bless you.
But
sis.
I disagree with you.
Go ahead.
And I
sis.
want to
Tell me.
keep this respectful.
Go ahead.
Don't yell at me. I'm grown. You grown. Let's just have a civil discourse here.
Go ahead.
The first thing I want you to do is take my brother Malcolm off the wall.
I will never do that
immediately.
because I purchased it. I will
You
never
have
do
to.
that. I would never do that.
Cannot
I would never do that.
I should have, and I know I thought about it before I said it. I was like, who am I to tell him
Exactly.
to take down?
Because if I tell you to
his
take that
mentor?
weave
I thought
out your
about
hair,
it.
it'd be an issue and a problem. Why we still in weave? I mean, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, I thought about it. It's not something that I was just gonna come ride you on. I said that's that man's belief. He could find something in Brother Malcolm that I didn't find. But you got to remember, one of your I know you always say that Malcolm is your hero, but let's not forget that one of his most famous quotes was, "If you're not careful, the media will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing." And that is why I asked you to take Brother Malcolm down.
Who said I hate my people?
You at this very moment are going against everything that he said in that quote. You cannot, after 400 years and counting, continue to brutalize, murder, rape, discriminate, kill like dogs. You cannot treat a people like that, not only in the United States, but globally, because let's be real. White supremacy and racism is a global problem. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's not an American problem. It's global. You cannot ask the oppressor to stop oppressing the people that they oppress, which makes them white supremacy because of power. You cannot ask them that. At some point, you have to take it. And when Trump first became elected, I said to a good friend, I said, you know what? Trump is going to cause the chickens to come home to roost. This MFA is going to have to burn, okay, in order for it to be built up the right way. And I want to make this other point. When you say you got to go vote, that is so true. But you can't just tell people, oh, I hope you guys have the same energy when it's time to go vote. Stop saying that to Black people. We vote. We voted, and so Biden is now the Democratic nominee. So don't say we don't vote. You got to.
I'm speaking more so, ma'am, on the local level.
Voting for your prosecutor, voting for the DA,
That's what we're talking about.
Voting for the sheriff, voting for. Those are the people that we should be voting for. Trump can become president again. He has very little power unless he uses the pen. Okay? Your Congress and your Senate, and especially your local and state elected officials, is where you should be directing people. So I'm going to say that point, and then I'm going to stop and make my last point to you, Wiley. The fact that you're sitting there and you are only capturing everyone, including white media, has posted about white people coming into these protests starting these fires, escalating. I sat on one of my good girls live, Leo, the other night, and we watched Detroit. I did not see 5 black people. All I saw was white people standing on cars, fighting. I don't see any of those clips in your presentation, and you pride yourself on being a journalist.
I never said I was a journalist. I never said I went to journalist school. I never said that.
But you have a platform, Wiley.
Again, I have a blogger. What I see, but ma'am, the reason why I posted the Chicago clips is because I'm from Chicago, and I knew some of the folks that were out there looting and stealing weed, stealing the flat screen TV, some shoes and socks.
But your entire narration of that is one-sided. If you're going to show Chicago, show Atlanta.
I had to show Chicago first.
Show New York. Show Washington State.
I had to show them first.
It was a white person. Show the other races targeting and looting. Show that. Be fair. Again, like Malcolm, your hero says, you cannot continue to blame the oppressed. You have did you have the same energy, or have you ever done anything on Black Wall Street? They burned the whole damn neighborhood down. Those are black owned businesses.
They did.
They burned their business down. And what did we have to do? Oh, we'll help you rebuild. And then you asked the question, you made a mention. I wrote this down. You said, why didn't the black people have the resources for businesses? Because it's systematic. Oh, you guys should go out and open business. Who the hell are you going to get a loan from when we are denied 3 times as much as any other race? Hispanics are granted loans, small business loans, before African Americans who built this country from the bottom up. Okay? We should not still be marching and asking for the same thing we was marching and asking for 50 to 60 years ago. It's Baldwin, your gay brother. He said it best. How much longer do you want us to wait for progress? Wiley, I want you to tell me, and I love you, Wiley. Well, I don't love you. I don't know you like that, but I like you as a person. I want you to tell me, in your opinion, how much longer do you want us to wait?
Again, I'm speaking this way. Go to the polls, run for office, support people that are going to have your interests at hand. Because while you are looting, while you are destroying your property, if you do not have that same energy on the political front, on the political level, whatever you're doing, you're still going to have to go to those same people that are still oppressing you. Until we get in those rooms, until we get into Capitol Hill, until we really take over the state houses, until we really take over City Hall, until we really elect people as DAs, as good prosecutors that are going to prosecute the officers to the fullest of the law and not show them favoritism. Until we really do that, nothing really is going to change. Chicago showed us, okay, let's get Kim Foxx in. So she started to do a great job. She have an awesome record of what she's doing to help her constituents. But that would have never happened if activists would have just looted and say, okay, we ain't going to vote. We just going to destroy property, steal weed, and steal shoes. No, they said, you know what, Anita Alvarez, since you covered up Laquan McDonald, 16 shots, we're going to vote you out. Okay, Rahm Emanuel, since you covered that up too, we're going to make sure we're going to vote you out and we're going to elect a black woman. So I stand on that side instead of standing on the side destroying property, because I know it is thousands of black people that work in service job, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Target. And I know it's a lot of black folks that do own black businesses as well as barbershops as well. So I don't want them to suffer while trying to prove a point.
And what about his family? Should they not? Who the hell cares about Target? Target will rebuild. Kill as many black men and women as you want on live TV, on social media. Oh, let's riot. Oh, let's forget about the fact of why people are rioting, because we watch somebody take their last breath on social media. You have more outrage for something that can be replaced than you do for your own brother, because he's your brother.
Absolutely, ma'am. And I agree with you on that. And that's why that prosecutor that is over that case needs to be voted out. That prosecutor needs to be voted out, and someone needs to be voted in. But I also want to question and I challenge this energy, because where is this energy, African American people that live in Chicago, when you all have so many murders on a weekend with black folks? Where is that energy at as well? Because it's a lot of families that are suffering when they lose their loved ones by people that look exactly like them. If we're not going to have that energy when we do us, this, I don't understand why we're giving energy with the police. But then on another end, when we get done protesting, when we get back and with some of these folks that do violence in their neighborhood and traumatize their neighborhood, where's that energy for that? So I'm more so on the side of us getting involved politically, voting out those bad prosecutors, and getting the right people in those positions. I believe that it's another way. I don't believe in looting. I don't believe in destroying property, because I'm not out there just stealing property, stealing weave, stealing makeup, because I don't know how that's going to uplift George Floyd by stealing those products.
And Wiley, I get that, but you have that energy of a Fox News reporter.
I have that energy of me actually. No. You're not going to put that on me. I have that energy of growing up in Inglewood, growing up on the south side of Chicago, growing up in a poverty-stricken neighborhood that so happened to be Democratic for decades. That's the energy that came before I even knew who Fox News was. I was a black man, and I came from a black neighborhood.
That's right, and you're making all the points I wanted to say. And I am your guest, and I am one of your old producers, Wiley. So let's bring it down a little bit, boo. But Wiley, where was this energy? You said, "Oh, well, Minneapolis is a Democrat, a liberal city." Well, Minneapolis, and it is. Georgia is a Republican state, and we all just seen the video of them shooting our brother down. Do you have any? There was no protest there. So that's a Republican state. I don't care how many black people in Atlanta. Georgia is a Republican, red as they can get state. So let's not bring up, Baltimore is Democratic, Chicago is Democratic. Well, Georgia is a red state, and it's happening there too.
Absolutely. But again, if we're not having that energy at the polls, nothing will change. Nothing will change.
Wiley,
right? You have to change it on the political front.
Wiley, you cannot vote racism away. It's not a physical
You cannot.
act.
Exactly. But when it comes to policies, you can usher in different type of policies. We need more power on the political front. It is policies that can be in place, laws that can be in place, and people. We can have black judges. We can have black governors. We can take over the system. But if we do not have that mindset, and we have the mindset on the local front, okay, that's loot, because other groups are having that conversation. They're very strategic. This is how the gay community were able to get something off the table, because they network and they strategize and they invest in President Obama, supported President Obama, not just by voting by him, but by financially. So when he got into office, he was able to give them something for their agenda. He became an ally because they were there and they supported him. We have to have that same energy. That's what I believe.
And I love President Obama, and I love what he's done for LGBTQ. But let me just say this to you: he's done more for the LGBTQ than he did for black people.
Absolutely, because they was there. They supported him.
Let's not get it twisted. And not only that, but if you're going to vote, like I said, you make sure you cannot vote racism away. You got to tear the system down. It's a racist, white supremacist system. We can have a black mayor a black sheriff in every single city and state in America. But if the institutions of this country was built upon on something called the Constitution, which is as racist as things are going to get, it doesn't matter what we own. It's going to fail.
Okay.
Because we don't have the power. You have to do like the other Asians don't vote. First of all, they rarely vote, but they have a lot of power in the United States because of their money, their wealth. They're able to buy what they want.
Because why? Because they put, because man, one of their strategies that they use, they put their financial backing into those candidates.
Exactly, and that is my point.
That's what we should do that too. Us as a people, we're worth $1 trillion as us as a group, as a collective group, $1 trillion. So we have to put our resources into the political scene, because if we don't do that, we're gonna always get the short end of the stick.
You're right. I agree with that.
That's what I'm standing on. I get that I'm angry and upset too. I had mental breakdowns as well. I get it. But what I realized is more, you can put that energy in another area. And I think we should tap really into that political front. Media. Okay, this is the reason why this show is effective. It's because me being a black man, I'm using my platform to talk about issues that rarely get talked about on a national scale. Being a black gay man with a cocked eye, you really don't really see those type of conversations from people like me.
I don't even see your cocked eye anymore.
I'm just saying that it's power to bring this conversation, because I could have easily stay with the conversation about celebrity gossip like some of these big bloggers does, okay? But I said, no, we're going to have a conversation. Now, us as African-American people, we're not going to always agree. Dr. King didn't always agree with Malcolm X. Malcolm X didn't always agree with Dr. King. But at the end of the day, they understood that we want progress for black people. I want progress for my people. But I just have a different approach, and you have an approach. We have just different type of approach. You with the looting, I'm with the invest more so in the political scene. That's why I stand on.
Okay, and I'll just say this: I happen to scan, which I never do. To the people who are, I have a political science double degree. I'm not just spewing my opinion. Everything that I am saying is data backed, okay? I don't just go and listen to somebody like Wiley or somebody else's chat and come back and say, oh, I got all the knowledge. No, everything that I mentioned has data behind it. All you have to do is Google how many African Americans were denied in 2019 for black businesses. Just Google is really your best friend. Use data. Science is better than, I am loud right now because I'm heated, but my information is data proven. So anybody.
Okay. Well, we thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna go.
We kind of just mute anybody who says go research because they're childish, and we don't deal with childish people.
Okay. Well, thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna go to these other callers. Get your last point, and I'm gonna go to the other callers.
Last point. When you had your incident at the library, do you think they would have exploited a white guy your same age for doing the same thing that you did?
To me, being honest, I think I would have been dead, to be honest. I don't know what happened.
No, if you were white.
I think if it was white, I think he would have went to a mental institution as well. I didn't go to jail that day. It was a while before I even went to jail. I went to a mental institution. I could have been dead. In that instance, I went to a mental institution. So I think if it was a white guy that did the exact thing, he would have been in a mental institution as well. And when I went to a mental institution, I saw where area that I was at were majority white. I was the only about 2 black folks that were there because of the area that I was at. So I believe that was a white person that done, and I've heard stories they have done way worse than what I did, because you hear different stuff. So you
can't compare that. You can't compare.
I'm just giving you my story. So if it was a white person saying, they would have went to a mental institution as well. That's my personal opinion.
And then and on that case, Wiley, I'm going to continue to support your show and all the different
thank you.
of shows you had. Because I kind of,
Well, it's good because y'all calling in. It's working because y'all calling in. I don't think like everybody. And I was and speaking about the Liberty, I was calling out Sandra Bland. I was hurt. I was angry, man. I was sad. I didn't know what to do. I started hearing voices. I didn't know what to do because I kept consuming all of this killings and death and harassment that I was dealing with in Texas. I literally lost my mind. And I was calling out to Sandra Bland, Emmett Till, Dr. King, Malcolm X, just saying all of this stuff because I lost my mind. I just lost it. I literally snapped. So I get it. But what I learned from that situation is I said, all of this anger, I need to put it in my show and be entertaining and also start running for office. So I start dealing with different organizations now, whether it's the NAACP, whether it's the Urban League, or whether it's the Action Network here in Dallas. So I started to be more active politically and more so like an activist, whether I'm working and supporting Jamal Green and wherever. So I started to put my energy into other things and not just sit at home and consume all the information and not doing anything else that can really that can help me and my people. So but let me move on to these other calls. We got a lot of callers.
Let me just have a nice weekend. I just got one more request from you. Until you get to that point where you're on the ground and everything that you
I have been on the ground,
all that. In the meantime, I need you to take my brother Malcolm off the wall.
I would never do that. Do you wear makeup, ma'am?
Lipstick, I do. I'm a natural beauty.
Okay, but you wear lipstick. What if I say take that lipstick off your lips? How would you feel?
I'll take it off.
Oh, so you so if I say take that lipstick off your lips, so you'll take it off?
I wouldn't. If I felt like I should take it off, that's because you can't compare my lipstick.
I'm just saying.
And what if Malcolm X rolled up on you in the middle of the night in your sleep and say, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed.
I understood with Malcolm X. I don't hate my people. I just disagree with the approach. And then maybe this is with love. I don't hate my people. I don't hate my
brother until further notice.
She about to say I hate my people.
Okay.
I don't hate my people. I love being black.
I didn't say you hate.
Your people. I didn't disagree with that new behavior.
You're giving us Ben Carson teas right now. So until you stop giving us Ben Carson teas, Brother Malcolm has to come down.
All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Let's go to the phone line. Callers, don't hang up because this is gonna be a lengthy show. All right. Let's go. Let's go right here. 1710. It's a lot of y'all calling in. 1710. I'm sorry, you're live on the air.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, sister.
Okay. Thank you for talking about something that has substance. I appreciate this show today.
Thank you.
But Wiley, I'm with the callers. I disagree. You have to do more research. So you're saying that we're out here looting, we're out here stealing weed or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if you're actually looking at the videos, watching what's going on, it's not the black people. The black people are not stealing. The black people are not looting. When you watch the majority of these videos, you see that black people, we are trying to tell them, don't destroy the neighborhood, don't mess it up. And to put with that, it's not really even black businesses in these black neighborhoods that they're destroying. If you're looking at these videos, people are stealing out of the Gucci's. They're stealing out of the Target. What black person owns Target? What black person owns a Gucci? You know, like they're not really stealing out of the black neighborhood. They're not destroying the black businesses. If you're looking at what's going on, they are tearing up businesses that are white owned. Now, it may be in a black neighborhood, But then again, if you're watching what's going on, it's not the black people who were tearing up the stuff. Most of this is being set up. Like, it was a video of protesters what's going on inside Dallas, I think, in Texas. And they were walking down the street, and it was just a big pile of freaking bricks on the side of the road. No construction going on or anything. It's just a huge pile of bricks. Most of these things are being set up, and it's not by our people, but it's making it look like it's our people. You're seeing the same 2 to 3 videos online of black people tearing stuff up versus the hundreds of protesters that's out, and you got the white people who are tearing up this business or looting or setting fires and stuff like that, but they're not showing you everything. And also, like, I agree with the last caller, you cannot vote racism out. That's just impossible. That is not going to happen. Now, what can happen is like how you see us infiltrating certain things. Everybody was so mad at Jay-Z for infiltrating the NFL. Oh, Colin Kaepernick this, Colin Kaepernick that. But you got to think about it. They weren't trying to change. They weren't looking out for us black people in the NFL. So instead of us still talking all this crap and being mouthy about it, what did Jay-Z do? If you can't beat them, you join them. So he became one of the, I don't know what the frick he is, but he's one of the big dogs in the NFL. And so that's how you have to do with stuff. We doing all this talking, but yeah, if you're going to do something, you got to really get in and do something about it. So it's just a lot of stuff you're seeing. I don't think that you're really doing the research, or you're not really looking, or I understand that you said you saw what you saw in Chicago, and I can't take that back. I didn't see the Chicago clip, but this is going on all over. Like right now, I live in Houston. I just tried to go to Walmart, and it's 4:00 in the afternoon. They won't even let us go to Walmart because they have protesters down the street. Now, I don't see any looting. I don't see anything going on, but
well, I can tell you for the Chicago piece that happened today in real time. I saw it was live on Facebook. Multiple accounts I was watching in different areas of the city, and it was in a predominantly black areas. Most of them, all of them really were black. And so what we're saying is in Chicago have a black mayor and a black superintendent that's over the Chicago Police Department. But this is the issue that I'm saying. I just think that it's another way that we can vote in better politicians that will have a black agenda. I love the fact that they have Lori Lightfoot in the city on the city hall front. I love the fact that they have a governor that is supportive of that sister. But the issue is it's going to take time to implement, because when you're coming into a system as a candidate, like Lori Lightfoot, you have to clean up of the dailies, from the Richard Dailies, from the Rahm Emanuels, for decades of mismanagement. So it's going to take a while to get it cleaned up. But if you're destroying the progress that was made, you're pushing the movement back for 10, maybe 15 years, especially if you're destroying those black businesses that is on 47, those black businesses that are there, and those companies that hire a lot of black folks, as well as some black folks that are store managers. Now they have to go back on unemployment and get unemployment. So that means us as taxpayers that's still working, we still have to pay for that, the damage as well as the unemployment and all of such. So I just think the energy should be at the polls. The energy should be at getting folks in those powerful rooms that make decisions about us. We should be in those rooms with that energy, especially if you're young. Yeah. I just think instead of looting Walmart and Gucci, go and vote and run for office so you can sit in a room so you can make decisions for your family and your community.
Yeah, but you got to also think, Wiley, Trayvon Martin was killed. We had a black president. Wiley, Sandra Bland was killed. We had a black president. Wiley, a black man was drugged down the street in Beaumont, Texas. We had a black president. The polls, that is not going to change anything.
Yes, again, because everything that you name, ma'am, is on the local and state level. Those areas should have had better people in there for an agenda to protect us and actually get justice for us. Again, we're not you're speaking more so on the federal level. I'm speaking more so on the local, state level. Even the thing with Sandra Bland, it's a such thing called bail reform. We need that. I know in California they have it. It shouldn't be if you you have to wait, sit in jail because you ain't got $500 for bail. If Sandra Bland, if it was a such thing as bail reform in the state of Texas, meaning that if you're committing a crime, until you're if it's not like a violent offense like murder, but if it's like a non-violent offense like a traffic stop, something that you went with, it will be no bail. Just show up for your trial date. If you don't show up for trial or your court date, we'll put out a warrant for your arrest. It shouldn't be poor folks sitting in jail waiting for their day in court, and then when they have their day in court, they say time served. But you didn't, or you go ahead on and you go ahead and do a deal because you didn't sit in county jail for 9-10 months. And you probably innocent, but you don't want to stay longer because you don't know when your trial day gonna come because you ain't got the $500 or the $1,000 to get out on bail. I think that shouldn't be, because what bail does is keep poor folks in jail. But again, that's going to change on the state level, where you get in state senators and state representatives to change the laws on the books. That is what I'm speaking on the state, local level, as well as voting in better judges that are going to judge you by not just judge you by your skin, and just really going to look at the laws on the book and be open-minded and not just be racist and just want to just throw black people away and just throw them all in prison. And that's why it's so important to pay attention which judges that you're voting in. So that it's like a process. And I think we need to pay attention to that and not ignore that and just so focus on the federal level. We have to focus on that local, because everything that we're discussing is state, DA, all that is local issues that can just be addressed if we go out and vote our numbers and get the right people in those positions. But go ahead with your last point, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying when it comes down to that state and local, but Wiley, okay, did you watch the video the other day with it was a police officer, and this lady, she was wrong. She was going off on a police officer. She was smacking him or whatever. And not to take it up, but the police officer that actually smacked her ass down to the ground was a black man.
Absolutely.
Did you see that video?
I did see that video.
Okay, so we can. So this is just to put this point into perspective.
But I agree with Lovely T, who is a black woman. She said she didn't like that black woman for doing. She don't agree with, and I don't agree with that black sister for that woman to hit the police officer. Like, she shouldn't have did it. She shouldn't have did that. She was wrong.
She shouldn't have did that. That is true. But they are trained for those type of situations, Wiley. They are trained for those type of situations. They took that oath. That's like me and you. I do pest control. I took an oath to make sure people don't have roaches in their restaurants. You get what I'm saying? I'm trained for certain situations.
Right.
He was trained for that situation. I don't care if she smacked him across the head with a 2x4. He was trained for a particular situation. And I doubt his training was for him to smack that lady the way he did. That's all I'm saying. We have training for certain things, and when you put people inside certain predicaments, whether they're going to go by their training or not, people are still going to do what they want to do. It's us, and we have to be unanimous together to fix or to change that. And that's just all we're just trying to say to you. Is just it doesn't matter if we vote. That those are all unanimous, and we still got Trump as the president. We still got Obama as the president, and Obama did more, like the young lady said, for LGBT than he has ever even thought to do for his own melanated people.
Well, thank you so very much. I'm going to go to these other 4 callers. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right. Callers, just hold on, because we don't charge you over here. Now, if we need to implement Super Chat your way to the top, we will. But just hold on, because this we don't usually get these many callers. 1917, call you on the air.
Hi, Wiley.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, listen, your cousins are a trip. And I say that because Black people will have you. But for some reason, Black people, your your subs don't like you. They're mad at you, and I think it's because you're challenging them to think a little bit more intelligently. And one thing you'll learn about Black people don't want to be challenged in that manner. Okay? And it makes absolutely no sense what's going on. We are not, first things first, we are not in normal times. We are in a pandemic, which means you're going to have to think and move a little bit more differently than you would in a not such serious time right now. Okay? Burning down buildings, if they're yours or not, it's not the most, it makes absolutely no sense. Okay? What about the seniors who need to use that the local Walmart or the local Walgreens? Do they not matter? A lot of us, a lot of Black people don't have transportation. But I guess that don't matter because one Black man was found, got his life taken. And so it justifies that the whole city gets burned down. That's not how you do things. And you would never get any kind of results from that. This is a different generation than the 60s. Now, let me tell you something about your people. They care so much. They're so up in the outrage. They're so tired. Come next week, these same niggas that's giving you a whole bunch of pushback won't even want to talk about this. They'll tell you it's not like that.
We ain't gonna say
anymore.
the racial appetite. Just say the N words. Let's keep it respectful. Go ahead, sister.
They'll say it's not like that no more. Things gotten better. Okay. I challenge you to continue with this, and I'll bet you your views would drop. Because Black people really don't want change. That's what they'll tell people, but they don't really want change. You see how them Black people was out there acting a fool? That energy, that determination. Why aren't them same Black people like that when going to trade schools? Where's that same energy? Because you're so tired of the oppression.
All right.
And white supremacy.
Forget just your last point. Get your last point in. I'm going to get to these next 3 callers.
Hello?
All right. This your last. You just say your last comment, and then I'm going to get to these next 3 callers.
Okay. So listen, all I'm saying is don't get tripped up by these Black people. I'm telling you, by next week, they will forget about this and they will not care.
All right. Thank you.
The only reason why they care is I just want to, one more thing. I have to say this to the sisters. Black women, stay home. You do not belong on the front lines. And how dare you bring your children out there to fight? Do not stop making our children child soldiers for grown men. Secondly, the reason why this kind of karma and reaction is happening because, again, see, the universe, and I know this is a Christian channel, you guys believe in the Lord. Well, the Lord hears you, and you guys say that you don't, everybody sees color. Well, that's what happened with this guy. Everyone hastily rushed to judgment because they saw color and not the character. Because I guarantee you, once you learn who this sucker is, you wouldn't be fighting for this.
Well, again, ma'am, I hear your point, but we can't get upset when Black people or when we have agree to disagree. It's nothing wrong with people disagreeing with Wiley. It's nothing wrong with that. I prefer we have these difficult conversations. I prefer that, period. Now, if you disagree with me because I stand with no, keep that same energy. Let's have a talk. And eventually we will get to a solution. 3786 caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Wiley.
Go
this
ahead,
is
sister.
the real Mrs. J. How are you?
Doing all right.
Can you hear me? Because I'm
I
walking
can
my dog
hear
and I have
you.
my
I can
headphones
hear you
on.
live and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. So this last caller, I
Mhm.
challenge her to love herself and her people.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I
have an
challenge her to do.
identity
Because the stuff that
crisis.
she was saying was straight ignorant.
But I talked to her before
Second
on
of all,
Instagram. She just have identity crisis.
second of all, I agree with the other callers. Like when you're talking about as far as us voting and putting people in power and positions. But until we change the system itself, all that stuff is going to be in vain. You can put people in positions of power all day, but they still have a certain protocol that they have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Am I lying?
I disagree.
Just like Barack Obama, he had the highest office in the land, but he couldn't do anything.
What do you mean?
Because we are under a white. There was nothing he could really do for us.
What did we? I have a question,
under a
ma'am.
white
I have
supremacist
a question. Did we demand President Obama to do for us? Did we demand it?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Did we, as a people, demand that?
He
I
do stuff for us.
I challenge that. I challenge that opinion because even what Roland Martin said, and I agree with him. I believe when we seen him on the inauguration, I believe we were still in the inauguration mood. We did not challenge Mr. Obama on a lot of things and held him accountable for the things that he lacked in. We didn't. I think we started to do that once he left office. Once he left, then we started to criticize him. But that energy should have been when he was the president of the United States of America. It's easy to criticize him now, but we did not apply pressure. We did not apply pressure like we're applying pressure to Trump. We didn't do that with Obama. We didn't apply that pressure like we should have. We did not. So if we would have done that and got engaged, politically engaged, going to the office, going to the state, having our people with our agenda and say, Mr. Obama, you have to do that. Demanding that media put our agenda in all of these institutions. We did not do that as a people. I think we started to do that once he got out of office.
I beg to differ that.
Okay, go ahead.
Not only was Barack Obama president, we still have people in the Senate. We have people in the House of Representatives. We have mayors. We have black governors. But it is not going to change anything until the system itself changes. That's just it. For real, to be honest, Barack Obama and any of our presidents are just puppets. They're doing what they're told to do. And that's the truth. That's the reality of it. This country was, these rules and regulations were never, the system was not designed for us, period. It wasn't. And as far as the rioting and the looting and all of that, yes, I don't agree with that. But you have groups like Antifa and other groups like that funding. You have these global elites that are funding these movements that have people that are actually being put in place to do all these things. I have a friend that was right on the front lines here. I live in Richmond, Virginia. I have a friend who's on the front lines the other night. And before this whole crowd came chanting around the corner, my friend said, this is a big crowd of white people. There was a little bit of black people in the crowd. And you know what they did? They destroyed our downtown in our city. They burned down buses. Somebody almost died because they set a trash can on fire close to a house and wouldn't allow the fire trucks to come to put the fire out. And the police officers had to go in the house and save the family who had a little child in there. So it's not all black people.
No.
These are groups that are being put there strategically, and we are the face of their anarchy.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, ma'am, for calling in.
All right.
Thank you.
But I do love you, Wiley.
No, and ma'am, I love you too. These are the things that I'm doing for the show. And I told my producers, I said, we got to have these difficult conversations because this is where I get, because I've been doing this forever. This is not the first time I've been doing this ever. These are conversations that need to be had. But thank you so very much, ma'am, for that. Okay, we down to 2 callers.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. 8725, call you on the air.
Hello.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Oh, I'm on the live. This is Queen of Memphis. I need to discuss my weave. I'm trying to look for anybody who's in Memphis that's trying to run up in this beauty supply with me. Because this last beauty supply I ran up in, child, they only had a bob. I had to get this bob in a blonde. Okay?
Go ahead, talk.
Okay? Like, what is the deal? Like, what is it with you with weave? Like, I need my weave. I ain't gonna lie, I don't got no hair under my head. Like, I need my weave. I need my frontal. Like, so, like, what you trying to say? What you trying to say? Excuse me. You trying to talk about all black women wearing some weaves? Like, what is the issue? Like, what is the issue? What is the issue with you and weaves? White girls wear weaves, Mexican bitches wear weaves, everybody wear weaves. Like, what is the deal?
Well, like I said, I am speaking of that. It's not just with weave. I'm talking about when different stores were looted, and I brought that point out. But again, I just think that it's not good to loot. So what's your point on the conversation? Are you with black folks out there looting and risking getting felonies?
My point on the conversation is that I need my weave. Like, I'm bald head underneath here. I got alopecia.
So why can't? So you don't work? So you'd rather go steal it?
I'm not gonna walk out my house with no motherfucking wig on.
Okay, so so what I'm saying is we don't want to do the language. So what I'm saying is, would you rather?
Get my daughter a wig too.
Would you rather go and get a job so you can afford to wear the wig, or go loot and commit a crime?
No. I ain't getting no job. That's what I use my children's child support for.
Oh.
I use my children's child support. I got food stamps. I'm on government assistance. I got Section 8, all that. And I drop a brand new Benz.
Okay. All
so
right.
But like this right here, this is an example. I'm just doing it just to do. Like, I'm going to get me a wig. I'm going to take any advantage that I need to get me a wig and a Gucci bag.
Right. Well, we thank you for calling.
Amen. You be blessed, brother.
Oh, okay. That's what you want to call it? Oh, well, thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Let's go to the, okay. The number is 646-716-8447. 646-716-8447. We're having the conversation, and we're having a difficult conversation today, but we thank everybody for that. I thought you all, the producer said he was going to send this to Sean King and to Reverend Jackson and to all the people, even to Al Sharpton, even to Roland Martin, because he's not the only one that is having these difficult conversations. We have these difficult conversations as well. So I don't like it when some black folks get a platform, they think they the only one. No, you ain't the only one. It's a lot of black folks that got platforms that are talking about this, okay? Where we're going to get into, I'm going to get into, I guess, because he's trending on Twitter right now. So we're going to get Dr. Umar Johnson. And speaking of Dr. Umar Johnson, he was on Roland Martin's show, and they start arguing and they got into a beef. So that was a little history on that. So I'm going to speak about Dr. Umar Johnson because he's trendy on Twitter. So let's see what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying concerning what's going on. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me pause it because he's talking.
When you are already a privileged white person, if you really care about black oppression, you don't come to the ghetto and march. You don't come to the ghetto and march. If you really care about black oppression, you will go amongst your own community, your own institutions, your own system, and you will struggle against your own people. Why would you leave? Why would you leave the seat of power?
Okay, right. So he had that opinion. That is Dr. Umar Johnson. You all know him. He's definitely a guy that say he's going to have a Frederick Douglass Academy, and many African Americans have supported that school. And about 3, 4, 5 years later, we are still waiting for those results for that school. Okay, but I will get to this clip. All right, give me a second. All right. Whether you agree or disagree with him, he have a right to his opinion. So let's go to this clip because he got another clip up here. Let's see what this one have to say. Okay.
So I had an ADHD moment. I had an ancestral diversion for higher development. What was I saying? I had an ADHD moment, ancestral diversion for higher development. But anyhow, I don't mind the looting because you go to war to get resources. America invades country to get shit, not for democracy. There has never been no country invaded for nobody's right to vote. That is a lie. Countries are invaded for resources, to take things, oil, gas, crops, minerals, metals. You go to war to get. So I have no problem with black people looting. You mean to tell me we've given this country 243 years of unpaid labor, and I'm supposed to feel bad that I took some shit after your people burned the building down? Or are you out of your mind right now? See, part of being unapologetically African is knowing when you should feel guilty.
I just want to know, you're speaking about a building, Dr. Umar Johnson, but where is that building of the Frederick Douglass Academy that you said you was going to do? You were looking at different lands. It was supposed to be open in 2018, 19. Now we're in the spring of almost in the summer of 2020. We still don't see the results of that Frederick Douglass Academy. So I want to know, before you jump on this trending topic, when are we going to see the results of that academy? But let's continue to play the rest of his video.
And when you should feel proud. In fact, I'll be angry at any of you if you had a chance to reclaim a little reparations for the ancestors by looting those damn shops. You better have taken an air conditioner, grab a weave, a perm, get you a bottle of perm juice. You better have gotten something out of them damn stores. You supposed to loot. You supposed to loot. The hell wrong with you? You supposed to loot. And have you noticed the media is talking more about people looting than people burning? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the media is talking more about the looting than the burning? What do you think costs the business more money? What is more expensive? The burning down of a multi-million-dollar structure?
All right, so I hear what he's saying, but again, when he's speaking, I agree with some of the things that he's saying, and I disagree. But I take issue with my brother because we still want to see where the results at for the school, where the results at for that school that people have donated so much money for. And see, you could talk the talk, but where the results of you putting this school out to educate our black men? Before we jump on this trending topic, people will challenge you and ask you about the academy that you said raised almost $500,000. I believe we almost raised. I think you said you raised $1 million. Last time I checked, someone told me it's 2 million, whatever the amount is. Where definitely when we're definitely going to see the results of that. So that's what I'm saying concerning that. But I will also say this: I am totally against looting. I'm totally against destroying our property, destroying our jobs. Because when you're saying that, it is some black businesses that are included in the conversation. If you don't believe me, speak to those black businesses in Atlanta, Georgia. T.I. spoke, Killer Mike have spoken, many different celebrities that are black that own businesses that were looted. They're speaking out. So with that in mind, we want to make sure that we are protecting black owned businesses for that period. Well, I'm just saying. I don't want to be messy. And everything. I just think it's just another way that we can be more effective in what we're trying to do. I agree with some things, but not all. Where them people coins at? Yeah, where the money at for that school, right? Because every time his name is mentioned, I think of the school because that's how I got to know him was for the school, right? And he was supposed to get the school together. Now, last time I viewed that, he was on Roland Martin, and that was a couple of years ago. That we burned down ATL, where the CNN building, there are no black business people. But I'm talking about the part of the Atlanta that were looted that was black owned. I'm not talking about the CNN building. I'm talking about those areas that were black owned in those areas. That's the areas that I'm talking about. Even Lovely T came out and she was against what is going on with the looting. She's totally against that. She feels as though that is bad energy in a spirit, and she's totally against that energy. So, of course, she posted some tweets out, and she spoke up regarding the issue. I believe this is the third one. Let's see if this is repeating the same thing. Let me see. I think this is the last video.
We're going to weaken and loosen up the quarantine restrictions. Well, guess what? My multicultural, politically uneducated, young African-American activists, if these white folk who are marching with you cared about you so much, why didn't they storm their capitals with rifles demanding an end to racism? Why didn't they do the same thing they did for COVID quarantine for black life and justice if they care about you so much? If they care about you so much, why didn't they grab their rifles and shotguns and semi-automatics and go to the capital, the state capital of Pennsylvania, the state capital of Michigan, the state capital of Minnesota, the state capital of Georgia, the state capital of California? If they love y'all so much, why didn't they do for you what they did for COVID quarantine? Because you too afraid to be part of an all-black march. Because you too afraid to be a part of an all-black movement. Because you too afraid to be part of an all-black cause, and you think I was going to run down there with a bunch of multiculturals? Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. I'm from another planet when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Garvey when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Malcolm when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Nkrumah when it comes to y'all. I'm from planet Dean Kamathi and Robert Sobukwe when it comes to y'all. And Sekou Touré when it comes to y'all. And Kwame Touré and Henry Highland Garnett and Alexander Crummell and Bishop Turner and Martin Delaney. I'm from another planet when it comes to you integrationist Negroes. Keep on letting infiltrate. They infiltrated Black Lives Movement, turned it into an LBGT front. They infiltrated Me Too, turned it into a heterosexual alpha male attack movement on black males. They infiltrated the NAACP and the Urban League and turned that into a black bourgeoisie lunch party. Every time you let them in, they take over.
Well, wow. Okay, so there's some things that are just not accurate that he's speaking against, because the NAACP have been doing some awesome work for people that don't get the media attention that it deserving. A lot of things that they're doing on the ground levels with court cases that they're fighting on the behalf of African American people. You have a lot of great NAACP chapters that are run by folks that are doing things in the community. Some towns before they call the NAACP. So they do a lot of good work, but just like the CEO of the NAACP, they don't get the recognition because unfortunately it's not enough black owned media. It's almost non-existent with television network black owned media. I believe it's only one black owned media. I believe Revoke does a show that give us black media, a news show. And I know online we see Roland Martin Unfiltered. He give us his version of a show, but it's not too many black news shows that really give the black perspective, because you really won't see all of this blackness on CNN. And speaking about CNN, Don Lemon challenged and called out so many different celebrities. Oprah, he called out Tyler Perry, Tracy Ellis Ross, Diddy. He called out so many black folks to talk. And I did my research and I was like, why are we so upset? Well, I found out that Don Lemon asked Oprah to come on the show. He asked all of these black folks, these black celebrities to come on his show, and they declined. Now he's saying it for the brand, but I've known Oprah gave money to Baltimore and is giving money, and she's using her resources, but he wanted them to come on his show. But I find it quite strange how when it's a black issue, they bring Don Lemon, but when it's the election time, when it's his slot, he don't get to talk about the election like that. Or when it's voting the night of the election, it be Wolf be on there. It don't be Don Lemon. But when it's concerning race, they allow him to come on the show to cover it. But anytime other than that, he don't really cover. But I do agree with what he's saying about the Oprahs, the Diddy's, and everything else. I don't just want them out there talking. They need to put the resources on the ground by funding candidates that are going to uplift and promote, and not only promote, but implement a black agenda. I just don't want them talking. I want them to give their money, their resources, and to help those. Now, with Tyler Perry, he have employed so many African-American people. I've known some that work with him, that does work for him, whether it was extra work, whether it's camera work, makeup artists. He have done a lot for people by employing them in Hollywood. So he's done a lot. Even Oprah Winfrey have done a lot for African-American people. Can they do much more? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to require them to do much more, right? As well as the church, as well as so many other organizations. We all can, including myself, can do more with this issue. While you know how they do us, they use us to get to the black celebrity. We do not need celebrities to our leaders. They are puppets and clowns. Only black excellence did he care about is that Chirac, because he's controlled by white people too. And you know, Don Lemon, brother, I love you. But last time I checked, from the National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ, they criticized CNN because Brother Roland Martin want to have a conversation of why CNN haven't hired African-American producers, executive producers, news directors that have the decisions, that have power over the content, and that you all don't have enough black folks in those newsrooms and having no company. It's too white. So CNN, before you call out Trump, before you even try to call out some of these black celebrities, you need to make sure in-house that you are hiring black folks to make decisions in those rooms, so they can have more conversations and not just wait until somebody died, then we can talk. When are y'all going to have other conversations throughout the week, hiring more black folks behind the scenes? I'm not talking about and more on air talent, but the real power in media is those that make in them control rooms, that make the decision, say that green light stories. Because Don Lemon don't have that type of power. He have a boss, and it don't look like him. So, because NABJ released a report about how a percentage of black folk working in those rooms, and it's very low. Tammy Hall was the same way. She said she didn't really see folks that look like her in those newsrooms. So that needs to be called out as well. Do you understand what all by? I understand that. That's why I'm saying that it needs to be black people in those newsrooms, and it needs to be black-owned networks and black news shows. That's why I miss Roland Martin's show that he had on TV One. They canceled it for an entertainment show, and guess what they did to the entertainment show, Sister Circle? They canceled that show as well. So that's why when I become successful and become a millionaire and become well off, I want power. I want to be the owner. I want to run my own network, and make those decisions. Because on this show, the reason why we have this conversation is because I came up with it. I say, oh, we're going to do it because I only answer to me when I'm running the show. That's the type of power that I want. I want that type of power. That's the type of power that I will obtain to put Black people on. And so we can have these conversations. Now, another thing, Dr. Umar Johnson, you speak a good game, but you don't have that energy for Black gay men and women. You turn into the oppressor when you are addressing Black gay men and women. And if you're all about unity for Africans, keep that same energy for gay Africans. Because last time I checked, they African too. And I want to say this, any gay Black person, woman, before you are gay, before you can say gay, when that police pull you over, they're going to say Black. They're not going to say gay. You're Black first, in my humble opinion. Because when they say African American, oh, are you African American 6'2"? They're not gonna say 6'2" African American gay. No, they're gonna say Black African American or whatever, you know. That's my humble opinion. But is it an issue that comes on in the movement? Yes. And I agree with Brother Wiggins, Ahmad Wiggins said on his show. I do agree. I agree with this one point that he said on this show. That if it was a trans woman, it was a gay man, it would have not gotten that outrage from the Black community. Black people still struggle with putting gays in the conversation. Because even when they criticize Obama, they put the gay agenda in it. He did so much for gay people. Because they talking about gay marriage got passed. And a lot of Black folks did not approve of that. But last time I checked, it was the Supreme Court that then struck it down under President Obama administration to say that it's unconstitutional to forbid same-sex marriages. They should get. So that's a whole nother conversation. But I do believe that if he was gay or a trans woman, it would have not gotten the same type of energy from the community. I do believe that. I do believe that. Because people still struggle with that. We're going to go to the phone lines. I got time today. 6832, call you on the air. I know you've been calling in all day. You finally made it. 6832, go ahead.
Hi, Wiley. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, I'm calling all the way from Atlanta. I love the show. I'm not going to hold you too long. I don't want to say anything really rude and nasty. But when straight people start talking about the gay agenda, Obama, he did more for gay people, but then sit out here and march like they're doing right now for rights, not to be shot down in the street. How are you going to discriminate against one group of people and you're still marching for your rights today? That's all I got to say. It's so sad.
That's a good point. And that's the conversation, because I have been at protest march in room with activists, some that been on TV recently, don't like gays. I couldn't even speak at some of these events because of my sexuality. And these people are for Black right, Black power. Is that including gays?
Well,
is that including gays? Ask that question and bring it up. Watch how the spirit and the response going to be different. Still exists. And it's strong.
Well, exactly. Well, the same way they feel about gay people in the community. I mean, we're all still Black, but you know, white people hate you too. So, you know, if you feel like gay people, trans people shouldn't have a right to live, shouldn't have a job or place to stay, any of those things, do not expect sympathy. or any of that when white people say we hate black people. We don't think they should live next door to us. Oh, they shouldn't have that job. So it's really backwards thinking.
It is because
the
it's
black
the same to
community
me.
can come together, then we're lost.
It's the same energy because when people talk about
Exactly.
equality, are that including gays? And watch what they gonna pull out. You bring that up, oh baby. Let me see if I got one. Baby, they're gonna pull out this Black Bible. They're gonna go in that book. They're gonna get some scriptures, and I'm gonna come with some scripture. I said, well, white people have said the same scriptures to keep us oppressed.
Exactly.
They had scriptures about race mixing. They done the same thing. They did it, and one of their effective tactics, they went to the scripture and say, no, he's forbidding us mixing with races. And they use that as well. So I'm just saying, do that include, would you still have that same energy if it was a, how you doing? If it was like this, get off of my neck. I can't bride. If it, what? Would it be the same energy and outrage? And be honest.
Exactly.
Be honest.
Thank you for letting me call in.
Baby, will you talk like that? Folks gonna show you their real side.
Exactly.
Baby, they gonna show you that real side, and they gonna sit on the sideline. They not gonna be on the front line. They'll leave. They're not gonna be on the front lines. Period. They gonna have a conversation. Were you born gay? It's a choice. They're gonna bring all that up. They're gonna have a debate to see, can we go with the move? And if that's some civil rights leaders that are still breathing, they don't even push it when something happened in the gay community. They stay silent. Because when Malaysia Booker's situation happened, you ain't see no Jesse Jackson come to Dallas. Uh-oh. Let me hush up. He didn't come to Dallas, Texas and spoke. Because some of them don't believe in fighting, that they don't believe that gays are included in the movement. And Dr. Umar Johnson, he definitely tell you how he feel that he don't.
Well, gay people need to turn around and say, we don't want to stand for black people. We need to be with the white people then, and feel the same way against them. How dare you?
I had to bring that in there.
Breath in every human being. We all got a right to live. I mean, you don't tell me I can't.
I had to bring that up.
Potential at life while you sit here. I mean, straight people have had so much privilege since Lincoln has given you a freedom. I mean, really, come on. I mean, what more privilege do you want? What more freedom do you want? What could Obama have done more for you? Please explain. You're Christians, you're straight people, you're not discriminated against unless it's by white people, but then you practice it against your own black people that are living their truth, so it's really sad to see. But don't expect any sympathy if you're going to be out here discriminating, pulling your scriptures, saying who should have a job, who should live, who should die, who life matters. Nobody care about your life either then. If you feel that way and that's strong, then do not get out here and protest for any kind of right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, man, for calling in. Okay, we got another caller that's on. We taking all callers. Don't rush us. We get to everybody. We got 16 more hours. I'm off. 1710, you live on the air.
Hey, Wiley, I just called in not too long ago. Okay, what we're trying to put this whole gay agenda and this black agenda and not being funny. I'm not a homophobe. I have no problem with gay people. I don't like the transgender part of it, but that's my business. But when we putting this on, we got enough of problems with black men. So we have to deal with a black man and a black gay man and a black gay man and, that wants to dress as a transgender. Like, let's focus on the first problem. We already have a hard time with getting them not to kill us, let alone we trying to fight the whole struggle of being a black gay man in America. We having a hard time just having black men alone, Wiley. So why are we trying to push the gay agenda on top of the black agenda. We're not saying we won't have the same energy if that was a black gay man, because we still would have the same energy because it's a black man being killed. But our thing is, let's stop trying to push the agenda on, okay, well, this black gay man, it's like we're trying to be equal with just being black. Can we tackle just being black, not getting killed as just being black, before we even bring in the sexuality? We're trying to do too much. We're doing too much. Do you hear what I'm saying, Wiley?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm a black. But again, gays are black as well if they're black. So,
but you're a black man.
But I understand that. But do you
gay,
think?
Wiley?
To be honest, ma'am, if that was a gay black man, you knew he was gay, would you have that same outrage? Do you think the people as a whole will have that? And be honest, will have that same outrage?
Yeah, if it was Wiley, if it was you, God forbid, if it was you, Wiley, you got 10,000 people that follow you on YouTube. Some of us love you, some of us like you, some of us just like your content. But if that was you, we know you're gay. We're not going to go off, well, this gay man. No, our main focus is they killed this black man. It doesn't care we don't care who you love. We don't care who you have sex with. Our main focus is you killed one of our black men. We're trying to put too much inside of what we're trying to deal with. Our first thing is to deal with black men and black women not being treated equally and being just killed at the hands of cops. There's a lot of black men who were killed recently these past few years that probably were gay. That had nothing to do with the fact that was a black man being killed. No one cares about your sexuality right now. We got bigger fish to fry. No one cares about the sexuality. This is a black man. He could have had on the dress. So what? He's still a black man. We're trying to put too much into what's the problem. The problem is they're killing black men. They're killing black women. They're killing black children. No one cares about the sexuality. It doesn't even matter what you drive, where you live. Just stop killing us. So like they're saying, Obama did more for LGBT than he did for black people. Look what's going on. And I really do believe, if not being funny, but if it was a more out gay black man, they probably wouldn't have done the same. I don't know. It just feels like the gay people have an upper, like it's the black man then the gay people. Like you guys got more equality, more of everything. Like, let's just tackle being black. We're not putting sexuality into it. Let's just tackle being black. And that's what people are feeling. Like that man said in that video, they started off with Black Lives Matter and then they changed it to something else. They started off with the Me Too movement and now they're trying to tackle all alpha black men. Like,
okay, well, you had your opinion, but again, I don't believe, ma'am, you would be on that front line if it was a gay man or not. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
It's a lot of gay men out there.
I don't believe that, ma'am, that you'll be on that front line.
It's a lot of gay men out there, but they know what the real problem is. It's no point in trying to fight.
I'm just saying, I don't believe it.
I need gay rights when Adam and Paquan over here is still getting shot in the head just for being a black man wearing a hoodie.
Well, thank you so very much for that. We're just having a conversation. And I hear what you're saying for that. So let me see. Do we have another call in? Because I can ask you one more question. What do you think a solution, if you was in the seat of power, what would you implement to help with this issue? If they elect you to be
the same thing which y'all are doing, I think that you guys should really use your platform instead of the YouTubers fighting all this beef sector crap. I mean, it is funny, but like it's bigger things to deal with. So just us using our platforms, like the black people actually using our platform. So if we do have clean people inside politics, let's draw them in, and then you guys.
No, I'm asking like if you were in the seat, this is my question. If you were in the seat to make decisions, what would you do to help with this issue, to solve this problem? What would you implement if you had the power, and you were elected to change it, what would you implement? What do you policy-wise need to be implemented to help with this, to not keep going, having all of this situation, revisiting the same situation again, the same incident? What would you implement if you had policy-wise? What policies would you introduce?
I would possibly try. I would infiltrate more of the legal system, and I would do like not. It sounds bad, but I would gentrify. Like I would have more Black people. We don't have enough of Black police officers. I think I was listening to Sean Diddy Way the other day, and he's absolutely right. Black people are teaching our children that police officers are bad, that judges are bad, that sheriffs are bad, that you stay away from them. But if it was more of us inside that sector, maybe things would be different. So I would try my best to put more of us inside that sector. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I agree with you with that. We do need more of us. And then what we do need is to make it easier for officers to report bad officers. So when they do that, they don't get judged or blackballed or even in some cases killed or lose their job or pension for speaking up. It needs to be a way where police officers can report the bad apples, right? Without getting judged or looked at with a side eye. It should be a way safely for them to be able to report bad police officers. And it needs to be an independent agency that only job is to investigate thoroughly bad policing and have the authority to fire them. And it needs to be a law that if they come up with it, and if you are found guilty and it's evidence, then you should lose your pension and you should be fired. And then also, I agree with the politician. He used to run Hub under President Obama. Let me see. I have him right here. Julian Castro. I believe what he said it needs to be a way where policy in place where officers are not, when they get fired from one department, it shouldn't be easier for them to go to another town and get a job. It needs to be a system.
True.
This is what he said. We need a national database of decertified police officers, no more dangerous cops getting a new job 2 towns away. So it needs to be like a national database. So if you go to a different town to get a job, if you've been flagged for police brutality, for killing people, all that, you shouldn't get a job. And that do need to exist. And I'm shocked that it's not a national database for that purpose.
And you know what else, Wiley? You know how like you got the police officers that's just like sitting on the sides of the roads, just it's like they're looking for something. We need to stop that.
Absolutely.
We don't need you. You don't see like it's a meme, but it's funny. You never see the doctors walk around inside the poor neighborhoods with a bell saying, "Hey, anybody out here with high blood pressure?
I get what
Let
you're
me help
saying
you."
because a lot of towns, especially like Flint, Michigan, Ferguson, is because a lot of these towns get revenue for ticketing. They abuse that because they don't get enough revenue, so they get it from the court system. So they tie you up with all these tickets and threaten you with a jail time. Because some place, I think in Dallas, that if you have a lot of tickets, or they could put a warrant out for your arrest. So I just think that needs to change. It shouldn't be if you get a ticket that you should be threatened with a warrant. No, that shouldn't be. You shouldn't force officers to have a quota to go out. Okay, officers in this district, we need them tickets up. You shouldn't force officer and force them to just be over there. They should be able to use their own judgment. They shouldn't be forced to give out tickets to keep the quota high and to bring in a lot of revenue. That's another thing that needs to be changed. So if I was in office, I would change that as well. Stop forcing these officers to keep quotas and burn them down. They should be able to serve and protect. And if they see somebody to do it, they should be able to use their own judgment to give that person a ticket or not a ticket, but they shouldn't be forced to do it.
I do agree with that. I don't even know what's up with the whole quota thing. I completely agree because that's crazy. It's like, and I'm not taking up for them, but that's probably why they're so freaking angry all the time. You know, I mean, because I've been looking up like, why, why are police officers so angry? Number one, they don't make much money.
They don't.
The male, male carriers make more money than police officers.
Yes. That's another issue.
Male carriers make more. I do pest control. I make more money
than police
officers.
Yes.
And all I do is make sure restaurants don't have bugs. And I make more money than police officers. So I see why they're angry. But I think it's just the whole system. I think it's just
for a dangerous job. And that's why, again, the things that you're saying, I say increase the pay and make the qualifications stronger. It shouldn't be so easy to become a police officer, but make it $75,000, $80,000 and have the qualifications first. And I also believe that if you are a white officer, you never been around black folks, I think they shouldn't just force you in a black neighborhood. You should get introduced to it in phases, because you have some of these folks that are policing a neighborhood, they never been around black folks. You know what I'm saying? And I think in the process, they need to have those conversations is, how is your upbringing around black African Americans or Latinos? What is your stance on that? They probably need to do like a race assessment to see what is your ideas about race. And if you say you don't like them, you shouldn't be no police officer, especially if you're gonna be working in. So wait,
Wiley, because I thought they took like a little exam, so they don't do that.
I don't know if they do a race assessment, and if they do,
I thought that was a part of it.
I don't know. I don't know if they do a race assessment, because I don't know, because all different departments have different rules and regulations, and I'm definitely gonna research that more. Do they have a race assessment? Do they actually have psychiatrists and people that actually give them a lie detector test, race assessment about race? I know they do one for drugs and stuff. And what we're talking about, people, is solutions. Because every day, me and you, sister, we could talk about the issues all day long, conspiracies, but we don't give that same energy with solutions. Because a lot of time I tune into the shows, and I love that from the Breakfast Club, how he always talk about solutions. And I think that we need to be more solution talk conversations. And then once we get done talking about it, we need to have a point of action in actually implementing those policies, right? Because a lot of different things you're going to see me on the show, just like how they live stream looting, you're going to see me live streaming, getting petitions to put laws on the book. You're going to start seeing that on this show. And I know a lot of people going to judge me. And this is why I tell the moderators don't block, because I will receive all of that negative energy, the N word, the F word, the S word. So I'm going to get a lot of resistance. So I have to be prepared to have callers like y'all to call in and let me have it. Because if I'm a politician, I'm going to be answering calls from my constituents, and everybody ain't going to like what I stand for, right? So I have to be in this training.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't be soft, Wiley. You can't be soft, because you're going to like I'm one of the people that you'll be blocking in your chat sometime, but this is like how somebody said inside the chat, police officers chose that. Well, you chose this system. You chose for this to be your extra source of income. So, like you said, you can't be weak. You have to be able to take it. You have to be able to take it.
And if somebody in the chat said this, all cops are not bad. Like, don't buy into that. You can't, because I've been pulled over by some very beautiful cops that didn't do a bad job, right? Have been pulled over by those that they only pulled me over because I had a Nissan Sentra with silver trim. It was too nice, but I got through the process. I've been in a situation when a white man actually lied and said I was being belligerent, and those officers got my side of the story. I was able to record it, and they talked to me. They made sure I got in my car safely. They thanked me, and they said, God bless you, move my happy way. So all police officers is not bad, right? It's just not bad.
No, Wally, listen, I've been in some situations where I should have went to jail, and I've literally gotten out. I can honestly say I've been lucky. Yeah, I've been lucky, but I know people who have not. My boyfriend.
Absolutely.
Currently, my boyfriend is a tall black man with really, really, really long dreadlocks. You can imagine how the police treat him.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? But me, on the other hand, I'm a woman. I'm soft-spoken when I have to be.
Okay.
So I know how to get out of it.
Right.
So, but I get it.
But most, it's a system that needs to be changed. I'm with you. I want to be in the power. And this is why I knew that I got to get into politics. Even with this show, I knew that I have to implement that. And we have been doing this for a long time. But we have to have these conversations. Many bloggers I've talked to, because I've been on the phone with a lot of them, they say, Wiley, I don't get no politics. I don't get into politics. But if you don't get into politics, you see this situation. And that same sister that said that she don't get into politics, that was Nick at Night that told me, I don't get into politics, but she's covering this issue, and this is a political issue. So that's why I tell you, bloggers, you have to use that power and that influence with all them subscribers and talk about what really matters. And that's the political front. And that's why I really respect Lovely T for that, because she reminds me of a journalist, because she do talk about those difficult situations as well as celebrity gossip. So you have to have those difficult conversations. You have to, because after we get done with YouTube, we got to again deal with the reality. Even being on Google, on YouTube, that's a company. They have laws and procedures and regulations, right? Even Trump trying to change the social media game right now with that executive order. So we have to be engaged into the political front. You have to.
I personally do not think that our president, I personally don't think people like that should have like social media accounts that they are over. You get like for instance, you got Beyonce and Jay-Z. I don't really think they cover their Instagrams or Wendy Williams. You know, they got somebody who does that because he's just doing way too much.
Well, thank you so very much.
You think so too, Wiley.
Well, thank you. I want to say thank you to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a senator. Senator Kamala Harris from she tweeted this out. She said George Floyd was murdered. Every single officer involved must be held accountable. So, of course, we sent her a tweet. We thanked her, and we trying to interview her as well. But, of course, you know, it's really hard. You need celebrities, but you just put it out there because she's been doing a great job. Thank you so very much for the super chat, and thank you all for those donations for the Cash App super chat. Thank y'all for that. Anything else you want to share before we close out?
But Wally,
90 seconds.
To you, Wally. This is actually Brianna Sade. You've been writing me. I've been writing your Wally, and you did. So
yes, and you know this. I love it. I love it because I know a lot of YouTubers don't have this type of engagement. It's not many of them that is African Americans that really is engaged, and that you know I'm passionate. I think because it's a very passionate subject, but I don't want to be so emotional where I just don't talk about because I have
60
been there.
seconds.
I was like, you know what, you gotta have these conversations, and so I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that you all were a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So, yeah, you just keep talking about this stuff. Lay off them YouTubers, okay? Wally,
I am off of it. I've been doing good today. We got another video where we will be talking about a YouTube that I never talked about this YouTube, never before.
Yeah, but talk about because look how many people here, look how many people engaging.
Yeah, we got somebody else that we gonna talk about.
Yeah, I watch all my Black YouTubers. That's actually another YouTuber talking about you is the reason why I'm subscribed to your channel. So you're doing your thing.
10 seconds.
But, you know, focus on you. Get your own bag, okay? You're at 2,000 subscribers. Now we got to get to 20,000, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. All right. God bless you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
We got
Bye,
another
Wiley.
caller, 2637. You're live on the air.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Okay, I just want to bring up a couple of points really quickly.
Go ahead.
Okay, when you was talking about the gay versus black, you cannot make that comparison. You cannot. Black is black, gay is gay. Gay people use the rights that black people fought for to get a leg up in the community. And basically what they wanted was gay people wanted to be the right to be treated the same. And what that meant is the white gay people wanted the same. They wanted to be able to discriminate against other people while not being discriminated themselves. Because it's not black people's fault if the gay community got all these rights and didn't include the black gay people. Y'all need to take that up with them. But you cannot center yourself in the middle of a black epidemic. We have our own problems. We don't have the time. We don't even have the friends. So if black gay people want to be taken there, even though the LGBT community shows they don't care about y'all, you know, because that's why they got all the benefits and y'all didn't get any. So that's what I want to say about that. And number two, black women are the ones that's being constantly, black men kept saying, oh, we always attacked by the police. Where's this? Where's that? Now when black women start getting attacked by the police, you know what black men do as a collective online? I'm not saying that there's no exception, but as a collective, black men sit online and say, with Corinne Gaines, her mouth was nasty. Sandra Bland, she should have shut up. This and every black woman, there's always an excuse. Oh, the cop is throwing a pregnant woman on the freeway, punching her in the face. I bet you she was mouthing off to him. That's why, so that means it's okay. But now a black man get caught doing something wrong, and the police officer should have never killed him, didn't deserve for him to be dead. But that gets thrown out the window. It doesn't matter what he was doing. We're supposed to fight. And at the end of the day, it's not our fight. Black men, the reason why y'all going through this is because y'all scared to fight. Y'all want to sit there and beg the white man for a seat at his table. Y'all don't want to go up in arms and war. If this happened in any other community, the men will rise up and fight. They wouldn't be telling women, come on, let's get, no, they're going to get together and they're going to fight. Y'all don't want to fight, so that's what, you can go all you want. But until y'all start fighting, gay, straight, or otherwise, y'all going to keep going through this. That's all I want to say. Have a good day.
Thank you so very much for calling in. But again, I'm fighting, and many other African Americans are men are out there fighting as well. But we do need to do a better job when it comes to addressing and bringing in the solutions. Whew, thank you. All right. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be live on Station Head. So I want to definitely see you all over there. So if you're not over there, we will definitely tomorrow at 9 p.m. And you also can listen to Station on your desktop computer.
Yes. Have you heard? The Wiley Show is expanding and will now be on Station Head every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's right. Download Station Head today. You won't, because you don't want to miss Wiley being raw and unfiltered. The Wiley Show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Station Head.
Let's do it, yo. Finish on.
Okay, thank you all so very much. So no one is blocked, because I just checked. I know it was some glitches on YouTube because some people I can't chat in the chat. It's just like a glitch when I had to log back in. I could do it. So nobody is blocked. Thank you to the moderators today. Thank you. You have done a wonderful job. So we want to thank Amin Brown, B Scales, J Love, D1S, and Blue Skies, Nurse Nicole, Shantae, Puppy Love, who else? Mouth Open. So many people. Don't get triggered, folks. You have an opinion. This is what y'all want to do. This is YouTube. This is a show. And some days you're going to be passionate. So come up on here and just speak up and type and call in, because I'm not mad. These are conversations that we definitely need to have. All right. Thank you all. We'll be back in about an hour with another video. And if you're triggered with this video, wait to the next one.